What's love got to do with it? Now, where does it concern me? It concerns me because somebody's answer to that question decided everything that I am today. Even the mere fact of my being alive was decided by the answer to that question. Now, don't think it wasn't my girlfriend. It wasn't anybody of the kind you would imagine. It was actually my maternal grandmother's answer to that question. And it was not about her. My maternal grandmother, I don't think, had the luxury of dealing with such questions in her own life. I really don't think so. But circumstances forced her to deal with that question. And the circumstance was that her daughter, her eldest child, my mom, died. And died before I even got to know her. I always tell my friends in population studies that if it were not for them, I would today have a very good idea of what my mom looked like. Now they came up with this idea of family planning. And every time I try to reconstruct the picture of my mom, now guess what I use? I use my daughters. Because every time I have a daughter, the villagers always say, oh, look, those legs, that's just your mom's legs. You know, something like that. Or look, those ears, those are your mom's ears. Unfortunately, I have only 2 daughters. Just imagine how far I would have gone if I had 10 daughters. Okay, yeah. Today I would have a very clear idea what my mom looked like, including, of course, what my son calls her ums. You know, yeah, exactly. Now, that's not the kind of thing you think about when you are thinking about your mom. But a picture is a picture, you know. When you are drawing a picture, you want everything, don't you? But that's what's not the issue. The issue was that when she died, of course, I became an orphan. Orphan, of course, from the mother's side. I had my father, and my father had other mothers to me. Like my big mother or my senior mother. Okay, my senior mother. My mother was number 2. And don't you think that was bad? Some people's mothers were number 10 in that clan. You know, don't you ever think? Okay, so the fact that my mother was number 2 is not that bad, I can assure you, by the standards of the village where we were. Okay. I know many women in Nairobi who are so proud of being number 1. And I ask myself, what is the meaning of number 1 when there is no number 2? I mean, what exactly? Yeah. What was so, yeah. What's so great about being number 1? Yeah. I mean, if you are number 1 in a class where there's only 1 student, you know, just imagine that. All right. So anyway, my mom was number 2. And then she died. And that opened up many possibilities. As an orphan, even in whatever kind of family, it's like your life is doomed. It's like you always get the second best in every situation. And because there are many women, your dad cannot even control what happens to you. Because somebody can always say, so-and-so must have done it, so-and-so must have done it. And so there I was. And the question to my maternal grandmother, God save her soul, was, what was going to happen to me in this big family with so many people looking after the interests of their own children? What was going to happen to her daughter's child? And my maternal grandmother thought of a village solution. The village solution was to replace my mother. That was the village solution. Give me another mother from amongst her daughters. And Dawn's question came up when she chose one of them and said, you're the one going to look after so-and-so's child. Nothing wrong with that, except the implication. Looking after me was not the problem. The problem was the implication. That to look after me in that situation, you had to marry my father. That's where the problem was. And so, it's my aunt, later to become my foster mother, who told my maternal grandmother that she did not love my father. And so this cannot be discussed because matters of love, we agree, are personal. Right? But my maternal grandmother said to her, what's that got to do with it? Okay. Yeah. We are not talking about feelings here. Okay. This is not about feelings. This is about saving a child. This is about responsibility. This is about ensuring that your sister's child grows up to become someone proper. Not just an orphan in the village. This story was never told, certainly not loudly, in my family. I got suspicious because she gave me brothers and sisters, but the gap was big. Yeah. The gap between me and those brothers and sisters was rather big. And so we always wondered, why did she take so long between me? Yeah. Why did he take her so long to get the others after me? But I began seeing signals. One signal was when, for example, she had a little quarrel, the kind of thing that my children call madome. Those kind of things, yeah. Okay, yeah. When there was a kind of some quarrel between her and my dad. And when my dad had left, she would look me right in the eye and said, it's for you It's for you that I got myself in this situation. And I said, for me? How did I cause the quarrel? Yeah. How did I cause that quarrel? And one day, when she and I were visiting with my maternal grandmother, they were talking about me, and she complained about me. And my maternal grandmother said to her, don't you ever mistreat so-and-so's child. Then I started saying, who was so-and-so? Ladies and gentlemen, this speech, I called it, the jury is still out. I called it, the jury is still out, because every time I discuss this matter with friends, nobody has a clear answer. Was my grandmother wrong to cause a marriage for responsibility and not for love? Well, have your own answer. And if you can buy me tea, tell it to me. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.